Hey, what's going on, everybody? How are you doing? Happy Monday, chat. Good to see you. Hope you guys are doing good. Back from the holiday break, kicking things off immediately into some Kerbal Space Program. Tonight, I want to refamiliarize ourselves with where we left off Friday. What was that, like the 22nd of November? So it's been about 10 days since the last stream. I want to refamiliarize ourselves with where we left things off and probably get to the point of finalizing our reusable launch vehicle design. Mainly like integrating it with whatever additional like systems it needs, such as the deployable legs are not technically finished right now. It might even need another Cal controller to control those legs. There's certain things that we definitely need to probably finish with the launch vehicle design, and then we can start. Well, there's really two paths that we can take. We can either actually start using it in our career mode and actually start doing missions with it in a semi-reusable fashion. Or we can continue our software development and start looking at what other things we're going to have to automate to really get this system fully reusable. Right now, our software takes the first stage all the way up until Miko. It even then separates the second stage. Second stage continues on. And that's where the first code kind of stops. And then it's up to us to manually do the boost back burn. And then we can enter a second code and start that to take us in for an automated landing. But that boost back burn is not yet automated. So that's probably going to be the next project of ours, is trying to figure out what's a good, reliable, and ideally accurate way to figure out how far we have to boost back in order to hit different target zones. Because ideally we can use it to boost back to probably this landing zone over here. We can even use Kerbal constructs to create another landing zone out here, which is actually kind of what I'm thinking about doing. But to do that, I got to refamiliarize myself with Kerbal constructs, because we haven't used that in a hot minute. And then we also want to eventually do barge landing. So we have to figure out some sort of guidance and navigation implementation that can help us do those things. So that's for the boost back burn. But we'll see. One step at a time, right, chat? Did I just see that you made a plane to drop bombs at your boosters? We did do that, yeah. We made an A-10. Actually, I think somebody from stream made that A-10. And then, of course, you know, we had to test the bombing capabilities. And so what better way than to do it on a landed Falcon 9 first stage, right? I misheard you saying the name of the game. Now I can't get Kerbal Space Program out of my head. Yes, we can. There you go. There you go, Terrace. Nice. Kerbal Space Program would be a great dispensary simulation game. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. But yes, chat, hope you guys all had a fantastic Thanksgiving break if you were observing the holiday. But let's go ahead and, I guess, kick things back off with some of our Kerbal Space Program. So where to go? Well, I guess first things first, we're going to need our VS Code out. VS Code is out. We have it currently set for test and Minerva 2. This is for the Ascent profile, I can only assume. And then test is what we were using to actually test our guidance navigation control for landing. So let's leave that out and let's go into vehicle assembly building and see where we left off. How's your Thanksgiving? Pretty good. No complaints, my friend. Good time spent with family, lots of food, you know, gained 50 pounds, it felt like, you know, all the good stuff. Okay, so we were doing the Maxerva, sorry, not the Maxerva, the Minerva 2 reusable flight ready profile. That should be good. And this is what we came up with. And I gotta say, I think it does good. It looks the part. So if you'll notice down here on the landing gear are not finished. They're basically just big hinges at the moment. I have some plans on how we can probably do better with this as well. Do more, make it look a little bit better. Give it maybe even a slightly wider stance. There's ways that we can do this to finalize our landing design, or our landing landing leg design, but so far it does pretty good for the simple tests we've been doing. You have a fast metabolism. Hey, I am envious of you. Somewhere, you know, if like you took some of my slow metabolism, I took some of your fast metabolism, then I think we would both be like, you know, perfect. It's pretty fitting for a guy named Space Gravy. Yeah, I know, right? Be talking about Thanksgiving. You're not wrong. Okay, so like I said, I think Minerva 2 here looks the part. From what I remember, it also played the part. It actually did pretty good. Let me check staging. Staging should be on point. And it's got 5 tons, right? You know what? Let's do a quick test here. Let me save this. I want to open up our Minerva with the shuttle that we've used in the past. And I want to see how heavy is the shuttle by itself, because then we can use that as a test payload. I think the shuttle might be heavier than 5 tons. I don't think it'll be vastly heavier than 5 tons, but let's see. It'll be essentially this entire part right here. So how much mass is that? Yeah, so 9.68 tons. So pretty much we need to test double what we are right now to actually see if we can use this and build well, we won't get the second stage back, at least not yet, but eventually we could have a fully reusable system, right? Space shuttle reusable, first stage reusable, second stage eventually reusable. But yeah, that would be the goal. 10 tons is also, I think, a pretty good benchmark to try and hit for reusability. I don't know if we're going to be able to hit that, just because of the amount of fuel the vehicle requires, right, on the first stage, but we'll see. So let's not save that, and let's put a 9 to 10 ton dummy mass for our test here. How's your day going? Yeah, as you're having the worst day of your life. All right, so let's see. Is that 5 tons or was that 4 tons? That guy right there. It's 5 tons. So literally, if we did this right here, we would be over capacity. So that seems pretty good to me. And do we have these auto shredded in? We don't. Let's make sure we do. There we go. All right, well, let's go ahead and test that, shall we, chat? Save. And let's go ahead and launch it. From what I remember last time, we pretty much nailed the amount of Delta V we would need remaining in the first stage to do a boost back and landing burn, but that was with a 5-ton payload. So we'll have to see how this kind of aligns here. Yeah, what's up, Andrew? How are you doing? Heidi ho. Auto stress a thing that's useful. Very much so. Very much so. All right, looking great, looking grand. Nice. I do like that camera angle, chat. That camera angle's super good. Okay. Well, let's load it up and hit the go button. Now we wait. Now we wait for the flight control to take over. Stand by. And there we go. T-minus 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, setting go engine start, outboard engine start. And we have launch. So again, this is with 10 tons payload capacity. This is double what we were originally testing with. Vehicle is in its roll program and looking good. And now it should be entering its pitch over maneuver. Seen from the VAB. Yeah, we have a camera right there on the corner of the VAB. Actually, can you see it if I hit the F4 button? No. Does F4 not show debris? Because I think it's technically debris. It is F4, isn't it? Or is it F3? No, it's definitely not F3. It must be F4. To where you can see other vehicles in your map. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, so it's right there. Yep, there we go. All right, well, we should stop our first stage when it has like 1,400 units of liquid fuel remaining, plus or minus a small amount. depending on how fast the code runs and can shut down the engines when it hits that marker. So it'll be no more than 1,400 units of liquid fuel. And now we're coming out into the last stage here. Yeah, with 10 tons, we are not going to get the same staging velocity. It's not bad though. That's not a bad staging velocity. 700, that might be workable. Yeah, that should be workable actually. Uh-oh. Oh, I didn't update the, right. Standby chat. We're gonna have to revert that. Yeah. Totally forgot to change the code here because we are gonna have 2 times the amount of fuel that we were using. Our code, right, in order to find out how much fuel should be remaining for the boost back and landing burn, we have to give it accurate details of the amount of fuel in the second stage and the payload, and I forgot to account for the additional fuel tank that we put up there as dummy mass. So let's just run that back, chat. We're running it back. Is coding hard? Because I'm starting to get into coding and I want to make my own KSP like game very soon. That would be amazing. Coding, I don't find it very difficult. Like I don't think it's particularly difficult. Uh-oh. That's fine. Just came a little wonky off the pad there. I gotta fix that too. The pad, for whatever reason, doesn't do well. Anyways, like for me, coding is very logical, right? I mean, you're telling the program exactly what to do. Probably the hardest part is just figuring out what you want to do with it, or like how you want to implement it, because there's usually never just one way to do something, right? Like, for example, as a very simple example, like looping, right? You can use a while loop or you can use a for loop, and in most cases you can use either for anything. But perhaps a for loop might be more optimal than a while loop. So it's like figuring out that sort of stuff in whatever coding, programming language you're actually utilizing. It has a bunch of different, ways to do stuff. So, like for me, I think that's the hardest part about coding, is just being like, I could do it this way. Is that going to be the best way for maintainability, for being optimal? There's just a bunch of stuff. But in terms of the actual implementation, if you don't really care about being optimal at first, right? And just start coding, that's usually the best way to go about it. Because then you get in that whole, what is it called? Analysis paralysis. You just try to figure out the best way to do something when it's probably better just to implement something and then iterate on it later. All right, should be looking good here. 1,400 is what we're looking for, and we have shutdown. 1,391, not bad. All right, and we'll go ahead and have our second stage go. And let's go ahead and tip it down just a little bit, somewhere like right about there. I need to fix the code because it's not working for the second stage at the moment. All right, and then let's do a boost back burn. Oh yeah, I also need to remember I need to go upward actually if I want to get the first stage. There we go. Please hit 70. Awesome, there we go. So that looks pretty good, if I do say so, with 591. That's a little bit less than I would like. I think last time we were playing with like 600 something, but in general I think that's fine. Let's go ahead and bring that back. Very good. And now we need to wait for this to get up to 70 kilometers so we can then, let's go ahead and F5 here as well. Because we want to set as target, because we're going to want to switch to that as soon as we get above 70. When you're doing reusability like this in the stock game for KSP, you need to make sure your first stage always goes above 70 kilometers. Because you can't switch to your second stage unless you go above 70 kilometers. So yeah, kind of a bummer. You kind of need that to happen. Otherwise, you're just not going to be able to get your second stage into actual orbit, All right, so we're almost there. I really probably should have put our second stage on a higher arc here, but we're almost able to switch around. Come on. 69, that should do it. Switch to, perfect. So hopefully we have enough time now to, enough time and enough delta V to now get the second stage into orbit. What's up, Sleazy? How are you doing? We can also go ahead and separate, perfect. And I'm gonna hold it right about here. So I still want my apoapsis to go higher. So I want to basically try and give myself enough time, if we can't get this into orbit, enough time for it to push its apoapsis way out. Because we need to have time for the first stage to land. So even if I don't get into orbit, if I can move this time out to like 2 minutes, which I think we would be in orbit at that point anyways, but if I can, then that gives us 2 minutes to basically land the booster before it surpasses its apoapsis again. Plus I want to go into about 100-kilometer orbit if possible as well. So that seems good. Let's start pitching down a little bit, get more horizontal velocity. And that should push our time, or sorry, should increase our horizontal velocity towards orbit. Even if our time starts going down, it's not a problem. All right, let's see what happens. We have 1.5 minutes at this point, which is not bad. We're at 54. I kind of want to probably switch back to it now. We're almost in orbit anyway, so let's go ahead, switch back to first stage. I'll answer that in just a second, Sleazy. See if we can't figure out how this booster needs to operate here. Come on. There we go. There we go. Perfect. All right, let's go ahead and do this. And I need to go to test, and I think I just hit the play button. Yep, there it goes. It should be tracking the pad now. All right, let's see what happens. All right, so I got a question. How did SpaceX catch the booster on Flight 5? Can you go in depth? So in what way, Sleazy? Well, first and foremost, their boost back burn, right, put them on a trajectory that had the booster basically get near the pad. It's similar to how they use the boost back burn to do like RTLS style of landings for Falcon 9. It has a bunch of sensors on board, probably using GPS to get its current position. It also has altitude indicators. I also think, I'm not sure if they've updated this, but I'm also under the impression that Falcon 9 and Booster both have like LiDAR altimetry on there as well, for them to get like their altitude, their rates. And then what's great about Booster is that Booster can actually, oh, I forgot, I need to, so those are unlocked. Wait, I'm sorry. Okay, pause. All right, cow controller, do I need to unlock it? No, I don't. It's at maximum angle, so I need to hit 0. Okay, cool. Stand by. We're landing. Oh, and then I'm supposed to go like, nope, not like that. All right. Not bad. Stand by. Gosh, are we going to touch down before we... Uh-oh, not the flagpole. Look at that, chat. We did it. Awesome. Okay. So what I was saying, the other great thing about Booster is that it can throttle, unlike Falcon 9, right? If you know anything about Falcon 9, one single Merlin engine that it uses on the first stage has enough thrust to weight ratio at its lowest throttle setting to continue pushing the almost empty first stage up again. So in terms of the Falcon 9, it really has to do some insane calculations on trying to figure out exactly when to light the engines, so that way by the time it touches down, it's basically nulled out velocity and it's on the deck, so that way they can shut down the engines, otherwise it's going to start going up again. And then you'll never get it down, right? But Booster can throttle down to basically a hover point. Actually, it can throttle down even below a hover point as well, which is pretty nice. So that means that as you saw it coming in, it basically kind of stopped here, right? It like really slowed down, and then it kicked over, and then it just, you know, entered the catch arm sideways. So yeah, it's insane how much innovation and ingenuity went into the booster catch system. Now, in terms of the systems that are on the tower, I actually don't know what the Mechzilla would use in order trying to figure out how to basically when to close the arms in order to actually catch the booster. It obviously has some sort of sensors. I don't know if booster is communicating with the tower's onboard control system and giving it its position and altitude, for example, so that way the catch arms can close in on it. I don't know if it's using some sort of vision-based system, but yeah, it's pretty crazy. Because I want to go into SpaceX and work a future job. Heck yeah, absolutely, that would be awesome. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know like the specifics because I'm sure that's proprietary in some way. Things that you want to probably look into is convex programming optimization, because there's a lot of research papers on landing launch vehicles using convex optimization, and that's a pretty powerful method, and it's used even by just lunar landers and things like that as well. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. Convex optimization, launch vehicle landing. Actually, if we can go to, scholarly articles, a convex approach to trajectory optimization for boost back, vertical takeoff, vertical landing, reusable launch vehicles. Yeah, so there's a bunch of convex optimization and convex programming ways to figure out the optimal guidance and navigation to get your launch vehicle from any point down to any point, essentially. So that's definitely a good spot to look at. Other things that we're going to implement in our game eventually is going to be using proportional navigation and proportional integral navigation. That's actually what missiles use, and what is a launch vehicle other than a missile that doesn't explode, hopefully. So that's actually what missiles use to track airplanes and things like that, is something called proportional navigation and even proportional integral navigation. There's a whole bunch of stuff, unfortunately. You could do probably in KSP at least something like what's known as an LQR controller. It's a very simple state space or linearly optimized control architecture called LQR control. That would work in in KSP because we have an ideal world. Probably would not work so well in real life because it's linearized. God, there's so many ways you could do stuff, which is both the awesome part about aerospace engineering and also sometimes the worst part, because then you're like, which one do I choose and why? I made my own Falcon 9 style booster landing with a set of PID loops. That's what we're using right now, is PIDs. Yeah. Again, great in KSP and stuff like that because we have an ideal world. I don't know if PIDs can do something like this in the real world because they're linearized, but I'm doing physics as a subject in high school. I'm on pressure and heat. Nice. Yep, gotta start somewhere. That's the great thing about engineering, is it's all based on physics. Whatever you're learning now directly carries over, We did a bunch of stuff except for the main things used for rocketry, like aerodynamics and orbit stuff in 3 dimensions. Yep. So are y'all doing kinematics, that sort of thing in high school physics? I think I remember doing kinematics in high school physics. Didn't really get too much into orbital body motions and things like that. It was basically around kinematics. All right, but hey, look at that, chat. We did an autonomous landing. And how far away? 50 meters, almost exactly to the center point of the pad. I'm pretty happy about that. I mean, still not accurate enough for a barge landing, but also not bad for, like I said, just simple PIDs. I'm in my 3rd year of college for aerospace engineering, hoping to work at SpaceX. Hell yes. Well, best of luck to that. Yeah, 3rd year, you're close to the end then. You're close to being able to enter the workforce. That's awesome. Okay, so let's go ahead and well, you know what? In that entire time, I totally forgot about the upper stage. So the upper stage still in orbit. No, it's not. So stand by. I do want to make sure we can get it in orbit. I think we can. I think it has enough fuel, but I want to confirm that because we're using that to hopefully get our space shuttle into orbit with this reusable launch vehicle. So let me go ahead and reload last quick save. I don't remember exactly where that was. Can we build a warp drive? Is it possible in real life or in KSP? In KSP, there is something similar-ish to a warp drive. Okay, so we stopped here. Got it. And we did the boost back burn already? We did do the boost back burn already. Cool. Real life? I mean, I guess it kind of depends on what you mean by a warp drive. Like you see in Star Trek? Not like you see in Star Trek. Right, like there is no, at least as to my knowledge, at least with our current understanding, there is no faster than light travel. So in terms of like the warp drive-esque, it would be more like an, is it called like an Einstein drive or something like that? I don't know. There's a bunch of different ways you can do a warp drive, which would get you to like near the speed of light, but never faster than it, to my understanding. One way. And this is not my area of expertise, so sorry if I am butchering it to anyone who knows better. But one way is you basically use a lot of energy to literally warp the space around you. So even though from an outside perspective it would look like you're moving away from them, so to speak, you're technically not moving, you're warping the space around you. But to my understanding, that method requires more energy than what's conceivable in the entire known universe. So, you know, oops. But the math, I guess, apparently checks out. So yeah, no, I don't think, you know, warp drives per se are going to be the way for the foreseeable future. Things like fusion, probably going to be great. Things like Vasmer drives and other very high thrust electric propulsion systems and things like that could definitely be really good. Nuclear could be good as well. I think those are definitely more of the near future tech. Well, definitely is already near future. I mean, we've already had nuclear propulsion systems and whatnot being tested on Earth, and we are now doing that again. Vasmer drives have been in development for like the last 20 years or something like that, and they seem to do good in laboratory settings, but nothing's flown in space yet. There's a bunch of stuff. There's a bunch of really cool tech. We need infinite energy, mere engineering problems. That's true, yeah. That's true. Yeah, Terrace, exactly. You basically create a bubble around yourself that warps. Oh. Well, that was the end of that. 130. Ooh, we actually might not have enough. Well, maybe we do if we go into a very shallow orbit. Might need to stretch the upper stage a little bit, actually. Opinions on Nautilus. Nautilus X. Let me refresh my memory. Oh, that thing. The spinning space station, that thing from NASA. I like it. I like most of NASA's deep space habitat designs, actually. Okay, there we go. It is gliding itself in, chat. Looking good. You have this code in some repo. Yes. If you scroll below the video on Twitch, you should see like my socials, right? And on the side, I have GitHub, and it's on my GitHub. What are you doing? Why are you going that way? Robotic part is locked. Which one is locked? And why? Oh, there we go. Okay, well, that's not bad. Yeah, so we might actually have to stretch the second stage. Actually, you know what? No, that actually should be fine because our yo, Captain Failure coming in with 44 Kerbal years of support. Much love to you. Awesome landing. Well, thank you. Yeah, I think we got the landings down pretty well. We could actually make the landing legs, probably move them down a little bit. Or actually even make them, well, probably move them down because I still want the kind of wide base they have. But yeah, not bad, right? Thanks, Captain Failure. Starting the stream off on a positive note. Maybe just a negative sign somewhere, but the last one aimed perfectly. If you're talking about the reason why it was off a little bit, yeah, I'm not sure. It could be, but it seemed like, I mean, like the last one we landed like right here. So I'm not sure why this one was pointing away so much. Maybe because of the velocity component, it saw that we were moving too close, too much toward the pad, and so maybe. Because how we have the code set up currently for the control system, where is it? Mode 2, target pitch, mode 2, here we go. So we have this right here, right? Our pitch control is a what's known as a cascading controller. It's basically two PIDs running in parallel and their output is summed. We have a distance portion and a velocity portion. And we're more sensitive to the velocity portion, basically because I want to try and avoid an overshoot. So what I think may have happened in that particular trajectory case was, yes, we were kind of far away from the pad, but because we were moving towards the pad at such a high velocity, it was trying to basically slow down and not move towards the pad at such a high rate. And so it was commanding a more negative pitch than what our distance pitch was able to input. I'm pretty sure I think that's what may have happened there. I'm not sure, but more testing to be required, I'm sure. The last is from 7 months ago. That should be, that should be the most up to date. Well, I guess it's not the most up to date. Here, I'll go ahead and post another one. Let's see here. Add DCX flight. How do I do? Flight controller and Maxerva 2 flight control. Yeah, the one from 7 months ago should not be too far behind, but you're definitely right. I think I have, what does it say? 30 changes I've made here, so. And commit and push. Yes. There you go. That should now be hopefully up to date. Yeah, thanks for checking that. I always forget to update the repo. All right, that seems good. Yep, that went through. All right, so I like it. Let's get it back into the VAB and see what we can do. So the upper stage is just going to come back to Kerbin. That's fine. Let's go ahead and recover the first stage, and we'll get back into the VAB and make some changes. Been interested in controlling KSP with Python for a while now. This is will be nice starter code. Yeah, definitely. And feel free to ask questions. Yeah. I want to buy a Xbox or PS for Christmas. Ooh, not bad. Personally, PC Master Race, but understandable. Understandable. Right? Cascade is 2 PIDE loops in series, not parallel. You're right. I'm sorry. I did say parallel, but yeah, you're right. Thank you for that. Yep, looks good. All right, all caught up on chat. Is SpaceX going to build a crew bridge on Tower 2 at Starbase? A crew bridge? I don't know. I don't know actually what their plans are for human rating Starship. To my knowledge right now, there aren't really any plans for human rating Starship. They will eventually, but I don't know like how far along in their development roadmap that is. Like it's obviously it's going to be human rated for like in-space usage, but not necessarily for launch, unless they're also going to try to do it for launch as well. Like obviously they'll have to have human rating in order to use it for HLS, right? But I don't know where NASA stands and where SpaceX stands on using Starship right now to directly launch people into space. Because it's a whole nother thing, and they don't have a launch escape system, so to speak, and things like that. So, like, I don't know what regulatory bodies, if any, have a say in that. So, yeah, I'm not sure. Not sure about that. Surely they have plans already in the, yeah, definitely for human rating, because they have to use it for HLS, but I guess I was meaning more towards like the launch part. Again, I'm sure it's in their roadmap, and I'm sure they're already taking steps towards it, but I don't know how far and what roadblocks they have to actually get that human rating for launch. All right, coffee is gone. All right, so let's go ahead and load this back up into the VAB and see what we can do. Let's actually load it up in the SPH. I usually like working in the SPH so you can pan the camera. And I think in the meantime, while we do this, since it has been almost an hour since stream start, I do run ads on the Twitch side manually in order to get rid of all of the Twitch injected ads and to prevent all of the mid-roll and pre-roll ads as well. So I'll run a short ad break on the Twitch side. Don't worry, we're not going to be doing anything, and I'll make sure that the stream is essentially on pause until you guys get back. But until then, we'll be on a short ad break. All right, seems good. Hopefully they'll be back in just a few moments. So we were loading up our launch vehicle from the VAB because I want to work on updating the landing gear and seeing if we can't improve that. And then the other part was maybe trying to stretch the upper stage. I don't know. It's kind of I don't think we actually have to stretch the upper stage. I think the upper stage is fine. We'll just have to make sure that we know that we're going to be using at least some of the propulsion capabilities of the space shuttle to get it all the way into orbit once we start using it for that. So I also have to remind myself that technically speaking, we're actually heavier with this system because we're taking 10 tons of payload in this test article, and then like another 1.5 tons for the fairing. So the shuttle will be lighter than that. You should do something SpaceX was originally going to do with planes and have 2 planes together with a rocket in the middle. They didn't do it because it didn't sound like SpaceX. Oh, really? I don't remember SpaceX looking to do that. I knew Stratolaunch was looking to do that. Like, Stratolaunch had ideas of taking large launch vehicles. See? Large launch vehicles. It almost looks like an early Falcon 9 and doing it, but I didn't know SpaceX was looking at doing that. That was the first time I've heard of that. Yeah, they were actually going to use Stratolaunch. So no, so this is Stratolaunch, a separate company, but apparently they were going to partner with SpaceX and do it with SpaceX. That's interesting. You gotta go study for finals. Well, best of luck, Nathan. Yeah, go study, do well, all of the good stuff. But yeah, Stratolaunch was the company with the plane, and then SpaceX, I guess, was going to give them boosters to Stratolaunch. I need to figure out a better way to do this, because for whatever reason, maybe it's because this is on heaviest part, and it should not be on heaviest part. Because something on separation is causing this entire thing to go out of whack. Yeah, I work in the industry, sleazy. Sure done diddly do. All right, let's see. Can I do this without it killing me? Huh. The answer is yes. Yes, I can. That's good. And then I can add another one like so to that. Perfect. Good. Well, that's good, I guess. And then these auto-strutted? These are auto-strutted into grandparents. Okay. I guess that's fine. Yeah, I don't know what's causing the whole stack over on this side to wobble after launch. I don't feel like my other one did that. Hey, what's up, Graham? How you doing? It looks like Twitch is back, so welcome back, Twitch. I work for a company that develops satellite avionics and control systems and communication systems. We're just a small, tiny startup in Colorado at the moment. Are you familiar with the difference between velocity form and positional form PID loops? Yeah. I guess I would need a little bit more in terms of what specifically do you mean by that? You're talking about like using PID loops just to control your position error versus using one for the velocity error? You know, like fast loop versus slow loop, that sort of thing. I love watching startup companies. What is the name of the company? Called Modularity. Oh, why do I only have... Okay, I need to do another one on this side. Like so. Do you have any books you could recommend on thermodynamics? I'm trying to play Stationeers and my goal is to make a tank farm like Starbase. Thermo. Here's my thermo book. The short answer is yes. It was just the one I used for my own classes. I'd have to find it. It's on my bookshelf somewhere. Actually, is it even on this bookshelf? Aerodynamics, control, thermo, no, that's modern control system. Aircraft design, space launch system. I don't see it from where I'm sitting. Oh, is that it? I think I found it. This one is called Mechanics and Thermodynamics of Propulsion, which it is more propulsion oriented and less so about just general thermodynamics, but it does go, of course, through all of the thermo intro and stuff like that. But it's by Pearson. This one right here. And I had another one that's not on this bookshelf that was something about gas dynamics and thermodynamics, something like that. I'd have to find the specific text on my other bookshelf, which is not in this room. Do you watch S3? I'm not familiar with S3. What's S3? Do I watch S3? Hopefully this will work. I need inspiration. What's up, Isaac? Trying to make a tank farm like Starbase. Yeah, I definitely recommend that one. I remember that one being a pretty good thermo book. And I had another one about gas dynamics, which had a thermo section all about like gases and stuff like that. But I don't know. I don't remember which one it was specifically, unfortunately. Thermo is definitely not my forte. I will tell you that much right now. I enjoyed it, but it was just not for me. Not what interested me so much. All right. So now that we have this, can I take you and move you out that way? No. Okay. Awesome. Can I move you this way? Aha! I can do it that way. Awesome. Then I'll do that. So, the thing I want to do, chat, is figure out how to improve the landing gear here. Because because I know that there's going to be a couple ways we can do this. First and foremost, to make the stance a little bit wider. No, that's not it. That ain't it, chat. That is not it. Let's go ahead and put something like this on here. Then we can fold this in a little bit to kind of hide it. Something like that. Just to give it a little bit extra height and stuff. Yeah, I wish I had the small circular pads like these. These are just unfortunately way too big. But if I had the smaller ones, I'd probably be using that. Yeah, fair enough, Graham, fair enough. All right, so that would look like how? So that would give us a little bit extra wide stance and even extra height. So that's actually, I like that. The other thing I wanted to do is to set up, ideally, another set of pistons and a hinge point for this. I think that'd be really, really slick if we could do that. I'm almost thinking like having a piston into a hinge into another piston. So that way when it folds out, they basically lock into a single almost linear actuator. How do I want to do this though? Because we're going to need part of it to attach there. I can probably build it off of this though. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of robotic parts though. That's the only problem. I got to figure out how we're going to do this. Okay, so let's get to the robotics. And if this is going to be our like landing position, so to speak, then how are we going to make this work? Use normal legs? Unfortunately, they're not good enough. They really aren't, unfortunately. We did try that. We looked at those before, Isaac. Telescopic piston like a crane arm extending on the mobile ones. That's a good way to do it. Yep, that's kind of what I'm going to do. It's going to be a piston into a hinge into a piston. So that way when it all folds out, they start like this and then they go... Because I don't think... Actually, is a single telescoping... piston going to be good enough? That's the question, I guess. Maybe it is. If that's the case, then I don't need the extra length. Maybe it is. Oh, it's going to be just... Wait, where can I... Yeah, it's actually not bad. So I guess it can. I guess it can be just a single piston. I was thinking I was going to need extra room. Or I should say extra length, but I don't think I actually do. I could do something like that. That might not be bad. That might not actually be bad, yeah. Okay. Yeah. But then how is this going to fold up? That's the question though, right? That's a pretty sharp angle to fold. Because it's got to collapse in on itself, right? Which way to do it, chat? Which way to do it? Because what I was thinking about doing is having a piston like this, right? Let's actually reattach it up here. But we don't actually need this much room. I was thinking about having like a piston that would probably be more like this. Into a like alligator hinge. If you could just, oh, there we go. Yeah, do something like that, and then into another one, so that way when it all locked into position, so then if I can do something like this, let's make this target of 180 degrees. it would be something like that, and then we would have another hinge on top. So that way it would basically fold up like this and then fold down in the middle. But we might not have to do that if I can get the alignment to work well. Yeah, it's got to collapse and then up. We did that on the other, my actual Falcon 9. Just trying to think about this. Yeah, so if we use a small hinge here, and can I just place it here? Stand by. There we go. Nice. Something like that. Okay. So now that way this would be unmotorized, locked no, and then we'd have to traverse that back down, and then this is going to have to be inward like so. Then you know what? I should really just get my other landing legs out. I don't have to think through this entire thing again. Was there a reason you chose positional versus velocity, or is it just easier? It's just easier. I don't remember. I feel like we did try the velocity somewhere. I feel like we did do a velocity controller somewhere. I don't remember. I don't remember what it was. But the advantage to velocity form is the gain schedule doesn't jar the output. I have to look back at that actually. Yeah, we basically just, you know, implemented like the first way to do something, and might be better. It might be time now that we're seeing what sort of performance we're getting out of doing it the way we are now to go back and perhaps improve upon. That might be the best way. So we do this, merge this in. So here's our Falcon 9. Yeah. Let's see, how did we basically have this. That would be what we have now. Yep, and then I had the 2, and it's connected to that at the top. So that way, from the point that it's designed to, okay. Yeah. Because in this, motorized does that, and then pushes it out. Okay. Sounds good. So yeah, I just had a hinge there, and then I had a hinge there. It's at the bottom pushing out. Yeah, that's the only thing, is I don't know if we need more room. More room than that. I guess we'll see. I guess we'll find out. Because then we would have another one of these. If I can see what I'm attaching it to, there we go. Yep. So essentially it'd be like that, more or less. We'll figure out the exact angles that we need. And I didn't have one in the middle like that, right? Nope, nothing in the middle. Cool. Yeah, 2 pivot hinges, no doubt. And so then, if this is going to go up, let's see what it looks like when it's all retracted. It's going to look like that. This is going to have to fold inward, and then it needs to basically attach down that way. Okay, so it's going to have to attach down there, right? Because the attachment point has to be essentially the lowest, the smallest part of this telescoping hinge. Mm-hmm. So in that case... So in that case, I actually probably don't even need a telescope. Just a normal piston, actually. But it would probably be more like that. Probably. Oh, how do I want to do this? Because the other way, like I said, is we can add another pivot point in the middle, and then it can basically collapse and then unfold. Instead of just having a single rod, it would basically have two rods and then a hinge point in the middle. Yeah, what would that look like, out of curiosity? I can actually probably just do it with this and not like the actual hinge part. Something like that. Granted, it's going to be pretty big for now. But then we could have our attachment point there, and then this can fold up, and then that folds up and attaches at the bottom. That looks a little bit better. Yeah, exactly. It looks a little bit more structurally sound, right? So if I don't do that, and then I don't do that, then our connection point can be at that angle. And then to fold up, then this would have to come all the way up. This would have to come all the way up. And then this one would have to be... Oh, I do need the full one. I need more than 90 degrees. Okay, so it does have to be the other hinge, the alligator. So again, this was kind of what I was trying to get at earlier. Okay, and then if I rotated it like this, and then 180, come on, you can do it. There we go. Just trying to see kind of like what this looks like. There we go. So it looks something kind of like that-ish. We can make it look pretty later. Because yeah, we can move these to the center, right? We can actually move this down to like that point and actually flip that around, but in general. And so now when it collapses to fold up, now it's able to essentially do that. Although I guess it has to actually go the other way, of course. Of course, Chad, of course it has to go the other way. There we go. And then fold up like so. Mm-hmm. My only question is, do I have enough room to do that? I'm not certain. You want to attract the pistons above where the legs fold up. Yep. Yes, yes, yes. I kind of like that way. If we can make it look right, and if we have enough room to actually implement that. Because then as they unfold, right, they essentially do this. They'd still be connected, and they would basically do this. Mm-hmm. I know it looks weird. I need to swap which one actually has the telescoping part on it. Probably take you off. Nope, that was not what I meant to do. Take you off. Take you off. Take you, turn you around, put you on here. Oh, please, game. There we go. There we go. Now, if we did that, Now we can scooch this in, align those up. Now that looks better. Kind of hides that weird alligator hinge design. Okay. Yeah, again, we probably don't need the telescoping systems, so yeah. Let's not use those since we don't actually have a lot of traverse that we have to do. Okay, there's something like that. And what's actually the better way to design this? From the vehicle, perhaps? Or is it from the landing gear? That's the question. Doesn't really matter, I guess. It is not currently Uber. Hopefully in the very near future. We're waiting on a bunch of different things to come back. All right, that looks pretty good. And so we do want it to hinge that way. Okay, wait, what? Why are you like this game? Have it. Okay, like that. Then we gizmo it that way. Move it down to about here and flatten it out. And then gizmo it down. That looks fine. Now if I can take another one. And put it on the bottom here. Like so. Yeah. Ooh. That's not bad. That's not bad. If I can get it to work, of course. Sanitation engineer, exactly. Sanitation engineer, yeah. 100%. All right, not bad, chat, not bad. We're getting there. All right. So now that we have that, we can now attach this guy up here. Rotate him around. Very nice. Make sure that you are aligned, of course. Oh my gosh, really? All right. Like, why you gotta be this way? Okay, let's take the whole thing, put you off onto a stable part. I can get you all into an alignment. Okay, make sure you are absolute. There we go. Now for you. Okay. Now for you, absolute. There we go. Now for you, absolute. There we go. Make sure these are all good on this part. That should be, oh, that's not absolute. Aha, there we go. Make sure everything is absolute snapped. There we go. Now that's perfectly straight, chat. A little bit of a backwards way to do it, but we got there in the end. And now if I can put it back onto this part. There we go. From petroleum transfer technician. That's pretty cool though. Petroleum, like engineering workforce. An oil field guy, yeah. Indeed. All right. There we go, Chad. How about that? That's pretty much what I want. And now we just got to figure out the deployment. So let's so yeah, let's go ahead and fold up the landing gear. And then we got to figure out all the different angles and things. And see what happens. So this one's obviously going to come up like so. And yeah, we're just not going to have a lot of room here, but that's fine. That's already there. That's already there. Make sure that these are angled inward. Very good. And this one as well. Very good. And then this one's gonna have to be attached to something. I might have to move, oh man, I might have to move the landing gear out. There's just not a lot of room for that at all. It'd have to be essentially like that, so that way it can attach itself to something with like an auto strut. That still might be fine. So what happens if I just did this? No, that's gonna be too big. So 4 times symmetry, one of these guys. There we go. Get that angled like that. Get this up like so. And so long as that stays like that. Oh, you know what? I actually can probably even do something like this. Move it up. Move it out, take you, local, move it up like that, move you, move it down like that, move you up like so. We'll have to see if that holds because of the fairing, but I'm hoping that we're inside the fairing enough there that that connection will remain, locking that into position. All right, so for the cal controller, where do I have the cal controller? Is it on the inside here somewhere? Aha, there it is. Nope, that's the overclock. Aha. Aha, that's the leg spam. Oh, that's right, I just have it set to, okay. So I need to perhaps limit. Can I set the deploy angle here? Yes, I can. So start from -90. And then I'll have to see what angle it needs to go to once it's deployed. All right. Can we see your flight computer on the rocket? Can we see your flight computer? What do you mean? What do you mean by flight computer? Is the rocket industry planning to move to green hydrogen or some other thing? Green hydrogen? I mean, there's certain things that are moving towards green propellants, but not green hydrogen that I'm aware of. That seems good. And then I want to, so we need to deploy it now and see how everything lines up. So if we deploy, that's its full deployment. And this, target angle 0. And then this target extension this target extension. Ooh, that's almost perfect. Holy cow. And then this target angle. Wait, so what was it actually attached to and why? Or is it just the position? Oh, it's just the position, I think. Yeah. Yeah, it's all on the GitHub. Yeah, it's not physical, it's just GitHub. It's Python. Yeah, it's Python code. I don't know why that's moved down there like that. Maybe it's just because I stretched it first and it doesn't really matter. I wonder if I should be building this from up here. That's actually probably what I have to do. That's how I did my Falcon 9. I don't know if it actually matters, but it might be better to do it that way. All right, let's take you off for a second. And for you, I guess we can just attach you here, and that gets rid of these parts, because then we can just gizmo it. I think that's fine. So yeah, let's go ahead and take this entire part off. We'll turn it around and attach it to this guy, and we'll just do it from the opposite end, I guess. Come on. Why don't you want to attach to that? Because there shouldn't be anything attached to that part. And that is the root part, so hello, game. Oh, it's because it's on the bottom? Yeah, I think it's because it's on the bottom. Okay. Yeah, I think that's why. Because it's actually attached to the bottom part. So we're gonna have to do that. Take you, gizmo you around. Align you there. And then gizmo you up. Put you into the spot that I need you to be in. Uh-huh. Something kind of like that, maybe. Guess we'll see. Actually, no, you were further up here, right? No, I just moved that thing up there. All right, let's gizmo you in one. And then the target angle. Let's try 60. Nope, needs to be more. That's not bad. Those are already at max, so I need to move it a little bit more. That actually, I think, should do it right there. Especially if I can move you out where you're just now, like, just like that. That'd be great if I could do that, if I can make that work. Is there an extension for KRPC that connects to FAR? Yes, it is. It does. Yeah, if you look at the documentation, I want to say it has curb alarm clock, LiDAR. It does have it. I know it does. Is it in flight? It might be in control as well. Yeah, it requires Ferrum Aerospace, so it does give you access to like different things that Ferrum calculates. So that short answer is yes. That's pretty much what I want right there. At -60. That'd be great if I could make that happen. Okay. Although I don't think I will do that, right? Because we can actually just do like 0 here and actually now have a strut connecting it. Yeah, I think that's probably going to be the better move. Maybe even bring these up a little bit. Make it 60 and 60. Maybe a little bit more. Maybe like 62, 62. There we go. There we go. Yep, I'm good with that. Yeah, absolutely. All right, not too shabby. If that works, of course, that's the question. Because then we're going to want to bring this to 62 then. Okay, and bring that to 62. 180 should be fine. So we'll have to see what that's going to be. It's probably going to be positive or negative 90 to 0. We'll see what that is once we go to unfurl it. And then this one is going to go from negative 90 to negative 73, I think. All right. Cool. Because see, now what we should be able to do is now bring that in. Bring that in. Yeah, don't worry about that for now. We want to fold this up. And then I guess this one will fold in like that. So that way that entire thing is mostly flush. And then we bring that up. So now we just gotta see where does that align here now. I guess it depends on where the strut runs once it's actually in the loaded into the game. Which is fine. Hey, what's up, Erudite? How are you doing? I guess then that one should just always be locked then. That one actually shouldn't deploy or do anything, I think. Yeah, I think. Because it will be... This one will be free to deploy and dragged out. So yeah, I think that actually should be fine. Potentially. I'm curious. I'm curious to see how that actually performs here. Let's go ahead and save it as is. Let's go to action groups. Actually, no. Go here to the leg. Oh wait, no, yeah. I need action groups because I'm just using it to deploy. And then if we go here, that should be, what do I have it set to now? Set maximum angle. So then that should be set maximum angle. Yeah. That should be extend. That should be extend. That should be set maximum angle. And then I think that's fine? Question mark? Oh no, let's see. Go ahead and save it. See if these landing legs do as I am expecting them to do. Okay. Okay. All right, so go ahead and save. Yeah, let's just run it out to this. Oh wait, nope, can't. Too big of a part. Fair enough. I just want to see how they actually deploy here, and if it's going to do as I expect it to do. Yep, I'm doing pretty good. Thank you for asking. All right, let's see what we can do, yeah? Let us see what it is we can do. So is it going to explode? Are they going to do nothing? Let's find out. Yo, Nova coming in with a tier 1 resub. Currently on a 7 Kerbal year streak. Much love for 21 Kerbal years. Nova, what's going? What's doing good, my friend? Really appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a good holiday. All right, and deploy. Wow, that worked. That worked really well, I might add. Well, we gotta test it, chat, okay. That worked super good, actually. First try, first try. Yeah, not too bad. They bound up a little bit. They bound up a little bit. I wonder if I need to, can you change the rate? You can change the rate, right? I think that's what the problem is. I need to change the rate on maybe the middle part. Either the middle part needs to go faster or the traverse rate of the pistons needs to be slightly slower. But anyways, you know what? Let's actually take a look at that again. Yeah, you know what? We're gonna do something silly here, chat. Okay, that was a little bit better. Not great though, but a little bit better. All right, I want to basically have it hover for a second, chat. I said hover, please. There we go. Wait. This is what you really don't want to see on a launch footage, but anyways, that's beside the point. All right, let's see what we got. So if I aim camera on this flag and then 0, it's actually not bad. I'm trying to figure out what it actually needs to do in order to not bind up. It's really not bad though. Like, I'm fine with that, I think. Like if this, because the traverse rate is 90, so it's doing that in 2 seconds. Where this is 1, so it's doing that in less than a second, right? Yeah. That could be the problem. So what happens if I bring this in? All right, stand by, bring that in. Okay, stand by, bring that in. And bring these up. Don't die. This is fine, right? Okay, there we go. I think I broke them, chat. Yeah, I think I broke them. Just saying. Yep, I broke it. Okay, good talk, good talk. Okay, so I think I know what needs to happen. I think the middle hinge needs to go faster because the pistons are extending in 0.6 seconds, like fully, right? And the hinge is taking 2 seconds to deploy. So something's not lining up. So I think I need to probably max out the hinge rotation so that way they rotate really quickly, or just make the other hinge part slower. I also need to match it to the rotation of the landing gear hinge as well. So let's bring that back to the vehicle assembly building. How do you make a belly flop stable? You gotta center your center of mass and your center of lift. Like, so for example, let's go ahead and save that. Switch. Go to new, open it up. Like if you wanted a vehicle to essentially just belly flop, you, for the most part, you know what, let's just get the cargo parts, yeah. Right, like if you had something like this, that's belly flopping, and if you look at the center of mass and the center of lift indicator, essentially, more or less, I mean, there's different ways to do it, but the easiest way is to do that right there. Is to have, wait, why isn't it showing me my actual center of lift? Why is that bugged out? Anyways, you essentially want your center of mass and your center of lift to be like on top of each other. Or at the very least, you want like a symmetrical design. Like you could have no wings, like my Biconic reentry vehicle. You could have just no wings, and so long as your center of mass is relatively in the middle of your vehicle, like symmetrically centered on your vehicle, then it'll belly flop. But it all has to do with where your center of mass is aligned and where your center of lift is aligned. You basically want them to be right in the center of the vehicle, or very, very close to it, because the farther off, excuse me, the farther off your center of mass and your center of lift are from the center of your vehicle, the more torque you're going to need to keep it stable. How do I assign control axes to WSAD? Using the cow controller? Is that what you're talking about? It's inside the yellow ball. Yeah, I know, but I guess I've never noticed that before. Yeah, hard to see. Like I saw it, but I thought you could still see like the arrow and stuff. But whatever. But how do I assign control axes to WSAD? Oh yeah, on the hinges and stuff. For that you need a cal controller. Stand by. Let me get back to the VAB and load up the Max Server 2. Or Minerva 2 rather. Yeah, you want to use a cal controller part, because what you can do is if you have a cal controller, I can actually get to it. It's hard to get to it in the VAB. There we go. So if you have a cal controller, right, that allows you to set the hinge angle of your part, you can then go to action groups and you can actually bind the cal controller to your pitch, yaw, and roll. So that is your WSAD keys, well, and Q and R keys for roll. So if you're only looking for pitch and like yaw or just pitch, then yeah, you can set it up using a cal controller and binding it to the pitch axis. That's how you do that. But yeah, you need a cal controller for that. All right, well, let's see what we need to do to set up the landing gear here. So how fast are these deploying? So these are deploying 45 degrees at 90 degrees per second. Sorry, 145 degrees in 90 seconds. So just to give us the exact amount, 145 divided by the 90 degrees per second, full deployment in 1.6 seconds. So that should basically be our marker for every single thing here. So for example, let's go to the switch editor here so I can pan the camera. There we go. So we need it to be 1.6. So for these, they're traversing only 0.62, right? Is that right? Yeah, 0.62. So we need 0.62 divided by 1.61. So it needs to go at 38.5. So we'll make it go 41, slightly faster. That should be fine. Okay. And then we have this guy, which is going 20. Okay, going 17. So it's got to go 10, almost 11. Yeah, we'll call it 11, slightly faster. And then this one, which is going 180, we got to max that out. So that way it takes about 1 second. Well, no, I guess we don't. So 180 divided by 1.61. Should be 111, 112. Okay. So we'll see what that does now. And hopefully that will be a little bit smoother and a little bit faster with everything coming together. Alrighty then. Save it again here. Launch it. Let's see what we can do. Not bad though. It's all coming together, chat. You know what's also interesting that might be worthwhile? Like right now we have it set to an action group, which is fine. But we can also actually use code now. KRPC actually, I guess, now allows you to interact with the robotic parts themselves. So that also might be interesting to do at some point. I definitely want to do that for like a robotic arm. I think that'd be really cool. So you could actually like control an entire robotic arm with like WSAD, Q, and E keys. That'd be really nice. And probably also you'll need I, J, K, L, H, and N, right? So you have an entire multi, you know, like let's call it 9-degree of freedom arm. And then you can like rotate the individual parts and have it go in and out and up and down and translate, all using the keyboard. Hey, what's up, Wild Gamer? How are you? All right, well, let's see what happens. So we're gonna go ahead and do this, release. Yeah, I don't like that it's doing that. Something finicky is going on, but have to debug that. When did they get added? I don't know. Like seriously, I have no idea. It was recent. Because if you go into parts now, see robotics, robotic controller, hinge, piston, rotation, rotor. I don't know when the GitHub repo was last updated. I think it was a couple months ago. But now we have robotic parts, robotic part controls, which is pretty sweet. All right, let's come to hover here, and then we're going to deploy the landing gear and see how they work. There we go. Basically in a hover and deploy. Oh. Ooh. Mm-hmm. Yep, that's pretty good, chat. That is pretty good. That was super smooth. Yep. Okay. I'm happy. I am happy. Nailed it first try. I know, right? You know, with the gear deployed, this has no control. Literally, very little gimbal authority. Come on. You can do it. There you go. Just tease it. Come on. Come on. Come on. There you go. There you go. Yeah, this thing doesn't fly very well with the landing gear down and a full payload stack on top. Go figure. That actually looks Pretty awesome. All right, let's run it back, chat, and let's do it for real now. We're gonna do the full test once again with this full stack. This time, because we already know how the second stage performs, I'm not gonna worry about the second stage and just control the first stage. Go ahead and save it. I think everything is good. And we'll go ahead and launch it. I still wish I could figure out why exactly the tower is wiggle wobbling on separation. And I think it has something to do with the hierarchy, but whatever. You hate pop-ups? Yeah, those are annoying. Is it on the YouTube side? Or like when you're browsing or something? A new Glenn and Vulcan mashup. It basically is. We've kind of took Vulcan and Atlas and mixed it with New Glenn. we took the Atlas 3 engine design, we took the Vulcan Centaur stage, and then we mixed it with New Glenn reusability. That's what we did. Oh, the phone, gotcha. Yeah. All right, well, let's see how it goes, chat. Actually, before we do that, because we are coming up on another hour of stream, before we launch, if you're new to the stream, I do on the Twitch side run manual ads in order to get rid of all of the Twitch injected ads. So don't worry, the stream's basically going to be on pause until you guys get back, but we're going to do another quick ad break on the Twitch side. So see you guys in a second. Cool. So that should be running, and we'll just chill out here and hang out until they get back. But yeah, I'm really glad that we were able to get the landing gear done on the first try. Well, I guess it was technically the second try. It worked the first time, and then we perfected it. So it only took us 2 tries to figure that out, so it looks good. And it looks so much better than just having the landing gear hinge pieces to like deploy. No, I don't like that. That irks my plausible realism style of gameplay. What if engine 2 fails? Well, if you have an engine failure, like, bummer. Bummer. You know, most rockets are like that. Falcon 9 is not because, well, it has 9 engines, but if you look at most other vehicles, Vulcan, Atlas, almost, yes. Actually, I don't know, Soyuz, right? Because Soyuz uses an engine cluster. But I think each one is powered by a single turboprop system, right? So technically speaking, if one engine goes out, they all go out in terms of their clusters, because they have like 4 engines fed by, I think, a single turbopump machinery system on the 4 boosters, and then one also on the second stage, as Russia uses their numbering scheme. The actual boosters are the first stage, and so on and so forth. Yeah, there's not a lot of things that actually have engine out capability. New Glenn will. A lot of the newer stuff will, for sure. I don't even know if Electron technically has an engine out capacity, because like it has multiple engines, but yeah, I don't think it does. Astra did, surprisingly. We all saw Astra take the slide off the pad, and it corrected itself, but still didn't make it to orbit. Usually when you have an engine out, unless you're one of a very few number of vehicles, you're not making orbit. You're really not. You might not go, you know, wiggle wobbly and out of control, but you might not make orbit. Yeah, the N1 definitely, I guess, technically had engine out capability, but not a lot. They kind of needed all of those engines to push all that fuel into orbit. All right, got another 45 seconds on the Twitch ad side. So we're chilling. And this should be pretty good. Oh, that's right. We also added the kind of like the leg extension part, if you will. So I'm excited to see how that's going to turn out. Yeah, we'll have to see. So the landing legs should actually be larger than what we even had before, with a larger base. So it should actually be more stable on landing, which I'm definitely hopeful of. Doon, 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 doon. All right, and Twitch side, it should be back. All right, so this test will be the same as last time, but this time we're not going to worry about the second stage, but I'm going to fly the booster in the same fashion as if we're trying to get the second stage into orbit, right? Like we would in a normal mission. So that means that our first stage during our boost back burn has to get above 70 kilometers, and then from there we'll see how things go. It should be good, but this will be a good test for the landing gear to make sure it all works as it should. All right, so with Twitch being back in action, let's go ahead and see what happens, yeah? Should have 1,400 units of liquid fuel on separation. All systems are looking good. And run it. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Single engine start. Outboard engine start. Launch pad clamp release and liftoff. All right. Vehicle's underway. It's in its roll program and is now starting to pitch downrange. All systems looking normal. Just got back in time for the launch. Heck yeah. What's up, Space Plasma? How are you? So yeah, just to kind of run you guys through it, it's going to be a very similar trajectory as last time. We're basically going to go through Miko, second stage set. Then I will take manual control of the first stage, do a boost back burn. And then from there we'll initiate our landing our landing flight controller script and then have it autonomously land. Fingers crossed. It should hopefully be better than last time as well. Hopefully, being the key modifier or qualifier there. All right, looking good. Not yet burning that last stage out, or that last tank yet. It should shut down with about 1,400 units of liquid fuel remaining. Is there a payload going up? This is just a test. Technically, it's a 10-ton dummy mass. So we're testing 10 tons in the fairing, but this was just a test, so it's just fuel. All right, coming up on Miko, should be stabilizing for second stage shutdown, or first stage shutdown. Stabilizing pitch for Miko. And there we go. Second stage ignition. Perfect. Now for the first stage, we can pop it around here. So I'm burning up at a pretty high angle because I need to get this above 70 kilometers on the boost back burn. I don't know if I'm going to do it. Oh wow, I didn't do it. Son of a gun, chat. This thing really has to go up. With all that payload mass that we have. All right, there we go. Like I said, I'm testing this as if we are trying to get the second stage into orbit. So to do that, if you want to switch to your second stage to have a chance of getting it into orbit, you have to get your first stage above 70 kilometers because you can't switch to the second stage while you're in the atmosphere. So that's kind of why I had to do that weird maneuver there, but everything looks good. Push rods are retracted. And this thing now essentially is just gonna sit here until it re-enters the atmosphere. Why not use RSS? I don't use RSS only because I like... all of my craft files are on Kerbalex for people to download, and I like how basically any user of any Kerbal experience status can basically see what I'm doing and implement it in their game without a whole bunch of different mods and things like that. That's why I really like playing the stock game, because honestly, I'm really happy with the stock game, minus a few quality of life mods, but also basically any viewer, no matter their experience level, can directly relate to what's being shown, you know? I do want to try out RSS one day, but not yet. There's a lot of things I want to do, you know? Right now we're on the let's automate rockets track. All right, so now we are back down, falling back into the atmosphere. And so what we should be able to do now, chat, is start our landing script. And make sure we get our control surfaces in action. There we go. And there we go. So what it's doing right now is tracking the pad. Pad is right there. So we are basically lining ourselves up with it, trying to use the aerodynamics to move ourselves towards it. And it looks like we're going to be coming down almost on the runway right now, but aerodynamics will help us out here. Boost back burn is not yet automated. That is going to be kind of like our next project. But yeah, currently not automated. Okay, looking good. Can your vehicle hover? Yes, technically it can. There we go, lining itself with the pad. There it is. I'm gonna overshoot a little bit. It should start coming back towards it. There it goes. Looking good. I'm hands off, chat. The only thing I gotta do is switch to single engine burn and then deploy the landing gear. Landing burn start. And shut down. Yeah, the boost back is automatically manual. Indeed. Oh. We are 36.7 meters from the center of the pad. Not bad. I know we do need a pad camera over here, actually. Oh, we should totally do that, chat. Son of a gun, you're gonna make me do that. Golly. Where do we do it, though? I wonder where we need to actually set it up. Because we kind of land anywhere in that hexagon. We need to figure out where it's going to be best. Oh, that was good. Oh, that was super good, chat. So, yeah, we got to automate the boost back. We got to automate the landing leg deployment. And we got to automate the switch to a single engine burn. Yeah, that's what we got to do. There's a few more things to automate for sure. But anyways, let's go to the space plane hangar. We got to get the helicopter out so we can actually drop off another camera system. Just like you knew what you were doing. Yeah, yeah, sort of. I think if you can get rid of that oscillation, you can land on the pad. I agree, yeah. Yeah, I don't know if it's something to do with the PID controller or if it's the... Probably is. Either that or it's the control authority on the actuators, right? Because we have essentially 30 degrees that we can use those control surfaces, and that might be too much. I don't know. I don't know. What I actually want to do, chat, is if you go into my code on the repo, I've been looking at implementing a flight controller here, which is basically a stability augmentation system. And essentially what it's designed to do, I'm still kind of testing it off stream, because it's a lot. It's a lot to go through, even like trying to code this on stream. But essentially it allows you to generate commanded torques and have that commanded torque be imparted on your craft, instead of using just a PID and using the back end of KRPC to just say, hey, point here. So instead of saying, hey, point at this attitude, you can say, hey, from my guidance and navigation system, it says to point here. Now let me actually implement control to get me to point there. I know it's a slightly nuanced thing. It kind of sounds the same, but basically instead of saying, hey, game, point this direction, or hey, rocket, point here, I'm saying, okay, this is where I want to point. Now here's my very specific control that I impart on the very specific control surfaces in order to get me to point there. So it's kind of like a once removed system. So I'm hoping something like this can actually help us out in the future as well. Is there any way to see your trajectories without mods? My mods are completely broken on every game and I can't use them. I mean, not Malcolm. I mean, you can see your suborbital trajectory line, but if you actually want to see like where you're going to land, I think you need the trajectories mod for that, or some other mod for that. I don't think there's a way to actually see your trajectory, given the rotation of Kerbin and given other elements of your craft. Do you think your controller can act quicker than the inbuilt control surface PID loops? I don't know. That's another thing to test, Nathan. That's another thing I don't know if it's like a PID gain problem, if it's a control actuator setting problem, if it's the speed of the code and KSP communication problem, right? Like currently I have our control loop I think running at like 10 hertz or something like that, 10 times a second. What's the clock rate? Oh, it's at 50 times a second, so even faster, but it doesn't matter. Like, the Python code could be scheduled to run 50 times a second, but I don't think KSP is running at 50 times a second. So even if the Python code is sending calls to KSP's backend for controllability, it might only actually be sending a call every two calls every second instead of 50, right? So I don't know if it's a speed communication problem. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things it kind of could be. But I think the stability augmentation system will definitely help make control a little bit more integrated, like in a full stack sort of system. So that way we can have a clear separation of guidance, navigation, and control, right? Those are three very separate things. So by setting up that sort of flight controller, we can say, hey, guidance and navigation, tell us where we are and where we aren't, right? The rocket knows where it is because it knows where it isn't, and then send those commands to the flight controller to figure out the best way to maneuver. So yeah, there's different ways. There's different ways to do it. I don't know if there's a specific problem. Don't know if it's going to fix it. Don't know if it'll make it worse, but it's something I'm investigating on the back end. I think it was this one. Did we have a payload in this one? I think we did. Yeah, exactly, Castle. I don't know where the bottleneck is specifically. Okay, so it's not that one. I could have sworn... Oh, you know what? I bet you it's in the BAB, actually. I know, I swear I had a control system for it. Oh my Lanta. EJ coming in with another raid. EJ, what's going on, my friend? I hope you're doing well. EJ and chat, you guys... Oh, man, y'all just missed a fantastic flight. Let me tell you what, chat. What's up, EJ and everybody? How are you doing? Seize all the rocketry. Kuro, no, don't you dare. Don't you dare. All right, don't bring that evil on me, okay? How you guys doing? That was workers and resources. Did you face wall, chat? Did you face wall? You should have. Yeah, you should have faced wall. How did we go from reusable rockets to helicopter? I wanted to set up a camera system at our landing zone. You faced wall? Good. Good. So long as you faced wall, then everything is right. Yeah, I wanted to deploy a camera system, so it looks like we're just gonna have to use this version. I swear I had one that already had a camera system, but anyways. EJ's raiding and running, he's off to get food. Hey, that sounds good. You kind of need food, don't you? That's the thing that people need, I think. But yeah, how was it? How was Workers and Resources, chat? I haven't seen EJ play Workers and Resources in forever. What's he even doing now? I bet the gains are too high during the landing burn. Yeah, it probably is true, Bernator. You're probably not wrong. That's probably like the first place to start testing things. But let's see. I wanted to set up a very quick and simple camera at our landing zone, so that way we can very easily see what is going on during landing from a really cool perspective. So we got the helicopter out here, and I'm just going to place a very simple camera system down, because we have a mod that lets us have cameras, so that's cool. Let's see here. I want utility. I'm probably going to want a wide angle cam. And we're probably going to want it up high, obviously rotated the right way. I'm probably pointing up a little bit as well. I don't know. I don't yet know where I want this to go, but probably angled up a little bit would be good. And then from there, yeah, we have a hype train coming in from Nova Raptor, gifting 12 months, a whole year to Weather Guy. What's good? Nova, thank you. My goodness gracious. Appreciate that. 12, welcome, Weather Guy. How you doing? That looks like a choppa. It is a choppa, indeed. Forgive me, I'm not even going to try to do the Arnold Schwarzenegger at all, because I will fail miserably and will not do it justice. Yeah. All right, so now we need 4 times symmetry. There we go. Rotate that out, rotate that in, move this out, move that out. Nice wide stance, and that should be all that we need. That should be all that we need. Let's go ahead and save that. Let's go ahead and get a pilot in it. Sure. And let's launch it. It's not going far. What's up, Weather Guy? How are you doing? He's been cooking in Satisfactory. Have you seen? Oh, I've seen. Well, I didn't see today. Last I saw, he was about to start the engines, but I haven't seen if he's actually started the engines yet. He was still getting like the back end frame in, last I saw. I think it was the last day before he took his holiday break before I did. Friday or whatever it was. I think that was the last time I saw. Alrighty. There we go. Oh gosh. Chat. We're controlling from the wrong point. Control from here. Oh, that was fine. We didn't need that blade. It's fine, chat. Totally didn't need that part. Yeah, totally, this is fine. Helicopter doesn't need to be symmetric. Doesn't need to be symmetrical. Started? No? Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, more power, clearly. So yeah, this is a mix between a Sikorsky Sky Crane and the Sikorsky SB-1 Defiant. So it's got push props in the back, and it's got dual rotating systems, and it's meant to carry a lot of mass. So right now we're trying to figure out where is the best place to put this camera system so we can catch a glimpse of our reusable rockets coming in for a landing. All right, let's see. Yep, that looks good. All right, I think we're gonna try and put it right there. I think that'd be the best spot for it. Out of the way, and hopefully the wide angle camera lens will help it see the rocket as it comes in for a landing. Those were just redundant blades. Yeah, and I mean, it doesn't seem very happy, chat, but it's flying, so that's good news, right? But yeah, it is very angry. Let me tell you what, chat. All right, let's just try to set it down right here, and we'll go ahead and deploy this little guy if we can as well, or get ready to. All right. Actually, can I enable staging? Yes, I can. As I try to do multiple things at once here. Yeah, without that blade and with that thing rotating like it is definitely a little hard to control, but hey, we're here for it. We're here for it, chat. All right. Perfect. There we go. Tease it. Oh, that's not at all what I meant to do. Awesome. Great. Perfect. As soon as people raid, just make fool of myself. As close as possible. Yeah, I know. I just don't know where the camera should go because, you know, we're plus or minus, I'd say a maximum of 100 meters in that entire hexagon. So I don't know. Let me make sure I control from the right spot. That would probably really help this go a little bit more smoothly, I think. Yeah, there we go. And then also we can go ahead and enable staging, bring that down. There we go. Helicopter launch, yeah. Is this hybrid tech or Kraken tech? Hybrid. Hybrid tech. Yeah, as close as possible would be good. I just don't know how close. We kind of seem to be landing in this area, so maybe we could put it on the very edge of the landing zone. I just don't know. All right, there's 3 spots, chat. There's 3 spots. Let me tell me what you think. There's 1, there's 2, and there's 3. 1, 2, and 3. Keep in mind that this camera is supposed to give us a camera angle to actually see our rocket coming in for a landing. And so that's what I'm interested in trying to capture. But the rocket lands somewhere on this like hexagon. So like, do we put it close? We put it a little bit farther from the left side, from the right side. Having not dropped in here for a while, that copter looks legit. Thank you. We used it for a recovery mission as well. We landed a capsule way over here, just over the mountains. I mean, that mission almost killed like 3 Kerbals. We almost landed on the actual mountains. And so per my rules on how I play my current career mode, if they don't land within 30 kilometers of the VAB, then we have to go and get them and bring them home. So we had to get this helicopter to go get it and bring it back. Yeah. As is tradition. Yes, of course, as is tradition. Don't know which zone would be the best here. It probably doesn't really matter, but we'll see. Because the wide camera angle is definitely wide, but I don't know if like having it this far back is going to be bad or not. I guess we'll see. I think this is where we'll start. All right, so we'll bring it in for an easy landing here. We'll put it right here on the side. Having it on the side makes sure that we don't impede any future recovery operations as well, ideally. Longer for V2 and V3 Starship? I don't know, Sleazy. It's a good question. I don't know what they have in store for some of the recovery systems. But they are stretching Starship, so, you know, maybe. All right, that seems pretty good. So from here, let's just try and separate. There we go. How about that, chat? So now we can chill out here, and if we go back, nope, not from there, not from there, not from there. There it is. That's not bad. That's actually a pretty good camera angle, chat. How about that? And we can still fly our helicopter from this camera angle too. I like that. So we can actually see the rocket come down from a pretty good distance. Okay, I'm pretty happy. Pretty happy with that. Yep. All right, well, let's go land the helicopter here. And we'll recover it, and then we'll get back to flight testing our automated rockets. Tease it. There we go. Nice and easy. And recover. So hopefully that will not be like in the way, that camera, but we'll see. We will see. You might be planning to go to Boca for Flight 7. That'd be awesome. That'd be pretty awesome. All right, so let's get our launch vehicle out, loaded back up, and test it from that camera angle again. Was there another thing I wanted to test, chat? Oh gosh, was there? Before we just went on that whole camera angle? No, I don't think so, right? We wanted the camera out there so we could see. Yeah, it was just the camera. We just wanted the camera, chat. It was just the camera. All right, cool. You get a couple days at the beach, that's true. That is very true. SpaceX has really been hitting the mark on their Starship flights recently. Well, I say that. I guess it was technically only 5 and 6, but... Actually, did 4 scrub at all? I don't remember if 4 scrubbed either. As far as I know, we don't know specifically a date for Flight 7 yet, right? We have a, if I remember correctly, don't we have like a NOTAM? But I don't know if that has been like for sure. 4 did not scrub? Okay, so 4 didn't scrub either. 4 made it fine, nice. So yeah, they've been on point with Starship launches pretty recently. All right, let's take it out again. Net January 12th. I was thinking it was January, yeah. I was thinking it was like mid-January. I couldn't remember the exact date though. All right, the other thing that we need to do, so we have that strutted in. I wonder if it would just behoove me to go here to here, and let's just set up a, oh man, I have to do it individually. Okay, fine. Set it up like that, which I'm actually fine with. And then we can scoot them in a little bit, just so it makes it look a little bit more integrated. And then those two, I do not care about ever being separated, so they'll just go all the way up. Yep, okay. Good. So we'll go ahead and save that. I just want to see if that is going to fix the wobbly problem that we've been having. I don't know if it will though, but we'll see. Oh no, I meant scrub, Cortessa. Do you know if Flight 4 ever scrubbed on its from its original planned launch date? Because somebody on YouTube chat was talking about, I'm sorry, Nova Raptor was talking about going down to see Flight 7. I was thinking, you know, that's probably a pretty safe bet. They've been, I'm pretty sure at least 5 and 6 took off exactly on their original launch date. All right, well, let's see what happens, chat. So this, we're gonna fly this with Python. Let's see how it goes. So the last 2 flights did pretty well. We made it within 50 meters of the landing zone and then 37 meters of the landing zone. So we have like a landing ellipse of like, you know, 100 meters or so. All right, looking good. see, we have that camera angle for that launch system. Looking pretty stellar as the vehicle pitches downrange. Nice. Hey, Matt Chad, what's good, man? Hope you're doing well. January 11th, based off of what we currently know from this. Yeah, from the, is that the NOTAM? I know, right, Matt Chad? Not bad. Nice launch cam. I do dig it. Yeah, I think it's whole cam VDS plus or something like that. Whole cam plus VDS. It's one of Linux Guru Gamer's mods. Mod father himself, and it's pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. All right, so this should be fully automated right now. It's performing its pitch maneuver. It should go until we have around 1,400 units of liquid fuel remaining, at which point it will separate for MECO, shut down the engines, all that jazz. At which point we will then take manual control just to do the boost back maneuver. And then from there, we will initiate our landing sequence, and we'll see how this flight does. And if I can remember, we can do the other camera angle, which I'm really hopeful of. Really hopeful of. Yeah, it's kind of a mashup between Atlas, like early Atlas, like the 3-engine Atlas vehicle. All right, let's go ahead and control here. Vulcan in its no SRB configuration, and then also New Glenn, of course, yeah. It's kind of a mix mash of those three. All right, we got to burn tall so we can hit our apoapsis requirement of 70 kilometers on our boost back burn. There we go. That's a little far, actually. Let's see if I can't clean that up a little bit. Oops, other side. There we go, that should be good. And we'll just let it do its thing. As we go ahead and retract the extension rods, there we go. Your lathe base phase 1 stuff is almost ready to transfer out to Joule. Been thinking about how I want to run crew in that save. Nice. Yes, indeed. What are you contemplating in terms of the playstyle? All right, so we have 561 meters per second at Delta V. Not bad. We should be going above 70 kilometers. We are. That's perfect, because if we were going to, in a real mission mode scenario, we would want to now switch back to our second stage, get it into orbit or very near orbit, and then switch back to our first stage for the landing. But this is just going to be testing of the first stage, so we'll see. No, unfortunately, as far as I know, there is no specific API for KRPC to communicate with trajectories. There might be some way to like hack it, but honestly, I don't want to do that. I kind of want to set up my own guidance and navigation for that. I think there's a really simple way to do it, which is basically this right here. You do have, even on suborbital flights, essentially orbital Keplerian parameters, and then you can essentially see, like, okay, we know the radius of Kerbin, so from the radius of Kerbin we can then see where our trajectory meets that radius point, that intercept, and then we essentially can get our time of flight for that, and we can get our latitude and longitude from that. That's kind of how I'm thinking about doing it. And then you iterate that constantly to account for any sort of drift and bias. But like I said, there's more than one way to skin a cat, and that's just one way that I'm thinking about. But we'll see. We'll see if that might not even be accurate enough. That was just my first thought. All right, there we go. Let's go ahead and rotate. We're now at 54. All right, and landing mode engaged. All right. The vehicle is now going to try and align itself with the pad, track the pad, trying to use its aerodynamic forces to move towards the pad as well. Yeah, exactly, Nathan. Yeah, and you should be able to account for the rotation of Kerbin, and then translate that forward in your trajectory, because Kerbin rotates at a constant rate. So, yeah, you're basically just converting your latitude and longitude. Or sorry, you're converting your Keplerian elements to latitude and longitude, which we have well-known equations for that. There we go. It's trying to get there. That's our targeted landing zone right there. Looking good. All right. Not bad. Coming down right on top. Nice. Stand by for engine burn. Oh, that's not bad, chat. Hmm. 22.5 meters from the pad. That's pretty good. We're getting better. Even though we're not changing anything, and we have 48 meters per second of delta V remaining. That is on point, if I do say so. That really is on point. Yeah, getting better every time, which is, you know, that's just how PIDs are, right? We're not actually changing the PIDs or anything when we do this. It's just the luck of the draw, I guess, so to speak, on the trajectory. But yeah, I like that, chat. That was pretty good. We have clearance on the engines. Everything deployed successfully as was designed. Not bad. Not bad, really not bad. You heading out, Ubinator? Have a good night, my friend. Thanks for hanging out. Much love to you. Current plan for crew living space is 1.5x crew capacity minimum, 2 to 3 for comfortable, 4 for permanent, and then looking into how much mass an astronaut needs on the ISS for a start. I like that, actually. I might have to take some inspiration from that idea into our own rules. That's good, chat. That's really, really good. Yeah, they're deterministic, but when you have nonlinear systems and you're trying to use a linear control system, yeah, you're never going to get the exact system, right? You're never going to get the exact output. I'm pretty happy with that, though. It did do the thing. Yeah, no doubt. It did do the thing. Pretty happy with that. Recover. Recover. So where do we go from here, chat? That's the question. Where to go from here? Because like I said, there's definitely more things to do. One thing that we could work on is setting up the second stage control, because we do have second stage control already implemented, but right now I think it is, I don't have it in the terminal right now, but when it goes to try and control the second stage, it can't find the vehicle, it seems like. So I'm wondering if I actually need to put it on a second thread, on a separate thread. That's probably what I need to do, actually. I probably just need to put it on a separate thread. Because we do have second stage control in final stage. Yeah, so we can give it a vessel, mission, lim, init, apo, heading, input, yeah. So yeah, we could actually put this on a different thread. And to do that, we would switch to the second stage as is. Yep. Let's see, then we get rid of vessel. Yeah, you know what? Let me refly that real quick just so I can actually see the error that we're getting on flying that. But it might be a simple fix. Otherwise, I need to swap. You know, basically put the second stage on another thread. Are PIDs linear? Yeah, they're a linear controller. Typically, to implement a PID system, you have to linearize your system for it. You still have active steering on the landing burn? It seemed like you drifted away from the pad while you're landing. Yes, I do. So I'll show you what we have for that. So the reason why we were drifting is because in order to try and limit the amount of I guess control, right, because we don't want the stage oscillating and diverging, I tell it to only implement control if its horizontal speed is greater than 1 meter per second, and I think our horizontal velocity there was just under 1, but because we stop relatively, I don't know, say 30 meters in the air, that 1 meter per second has enough time for it to drift. So yeah, we could actually probably implement this to be even less. Yeah, there's ways to stop it from drifting even more. I did this because at low velocity and at that lower throttle as it's coming in for a landing, if you tip over too much, right, then it can never recompensate for it because your gimbal authority and your thrust output of your engines just isn't able to right yourself quick enough. But that doesn't mean that we can't make something probably a little bit more finessed, a little bit more intelligent there. Yeah. This is definitely not tuned for this Sotan. Yeah, 100%. And as somebody was mentioning earlier, right now we're using PIDs controlling basically in a positional outset, where it's basically trying to control a position or an integrated output, where we could actually set up a PID controlling the velocity error, which would be a derivative form of it, right? And it would actually be able to interact with that faster with smaller errors. So we could implement that as well. Just change the way the PIDs are designed as well. But yeah, I basically use a constant PID gain throughout the entire flight, where in reality you would probably want to use gain scheduling and change the gains through different flight regimes as well. All right, Nova, have a good night. Thanks for hanging out and for the gifted sub and resub. Much love to you, my friend. Have a good night. Daisy chaining PIDs is your passion. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad you're here for it. All right, so we should be coming up on Miko here shortly-ish. So it's right here where I think the error occurs. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. I'll have to see what the error specifically is here. Stand by for stabilizing. There it goes. Checking active vehicle, panic, control, current active vehicle is Minerva, and then that happens. Yeah, okay. So what is actually going on here? Where is it? Runtime error, not the active vessel. Oh, I see. So it's not finding the, and then it's angry at this line 144. Activate next stage. But it's fine here? Yeah, it's because we don't have the second stage being our active vessel, I guess. Is it because we're still trying to control the vessel, which would be the first stage? It's not the active vessel. Activate next stage, check active vessel. Yeah, it must be because of that. Wait, what is this one called? Map view. So this is Minerva 2R FR. Okay, stand by. I definitely want to fix that so we can get past the second stage control part. Have you considered hot staging? Yeah, I don't think that would fit well for this one. I think the engine would just burn through the the top here. Haven't really considered it. I feel like we mitigate some of the quote-unquote inefficiency by having the push rods help push it away, and it happens so fast. But there is some inefficiency, but I don't think it's that much in the grand scheme of things, especially at that altitude where you're not losing too much velocity due to aerodynamics. What to do. Yeah, first things first. Let's get into here and make sure that this is configured for the right name. Yep, it should be that. There we go. Yeah, I wonder if, wait, do I already have that in my stage here? No, I don't. I could though. Not that it really matters. I'm just wondering if I actually need to put it on a separate thread, or if KRPC can actually switch back and forth. No, I need to put it on the next, on the separate thread if we're going to do the boost, backburn, and landing stuff. Right, because essentially what I need to have happen is after Miko, the first stage is going to flip around and start its boost backburn as the second stage continues on its intended trajectory. So in order to do that and control both systems simultaneously, I need to separate these into separate threads, where I can have the first stage be on the main thread, but I should have the second stage loop guidance on a separate thread. So to do that, it's gonna take a little bit. All right, let's just make sure that we get the second stage stuff up and running here. Because like worst case scenario, at least for now, we can just put the second stage on like a, straight pointing target. since all I really care about it doing is getting to a pretty high altitude, so we have time to land the first stage. So if that's the case, what I would like to have happen is this, and then still have second stage to limbs. Okay, so we fixed the naming convention part. Control, activate next stage. So we need to set active vessel, I guess, first. I could, but I kind of like doing it the stock way. It's just one of those things. I've been doing reusable rockets right since, God, I don't know how long, before that mod even existed, you know? I kind of like the juggling to see if it can all work. Second stage, so we need to set active vessel. We can check active vessel. So does that mean I need to change, what do I have here? I should have this name something, right? Minerva 2 first stage. Okay. So check active vehicle is going to be the route. So that should be fine. Control throttle 1. We can make all of this second. Oops. And this second. Yep. Probably this as well. Just for now. Okay. Then enters closed loop guidance. So if I can set that to another thread, then we can change back to the other one. It's gonna take some work though. Let's make sure that changing these back to second doesn't kill us. That everything works as intended in that case. How long until launch? Yeah, we're gonna launch it right meow. That one quickly adjust the gain too high, yeah. No kidding. Yeah, the proportional gain, yeah. Very easy to overdo. And there's at least a good rule of thumb, right? With, what is it? Is it Nyquist? Or no, Nichols method, right? For figuring out an optimal gain. All right, let's see what happens, chat. So ideally this will control everything through second stage. I just want to make sure that the code is not broken for some other reason, since it was not doing good there. And there we go. Vehicles away, pitching downrange. Nyquist is 4-year transport. Thank you. It was Nichols, right? Nichols, the NZ method, if I'm remembering correctly. All right, so we're away, chat. This is all autonomous from here. We're going to see if the second stage is going to be fine. I'd actually like to see if the second stage can actually make it into orbit in expendable mode. Well, I guess this isn't expendable mode. This would be reusable first stage mode, but we're going to only control the second stage and not the first, so. Well, in a perfect world, so long as the code doesn't break somewhere. It's because something is going on with the hierarchy rerouting when it separates from the pad. Nathan, I have high hopes. Don't really know anything about it, right? Didn't we only get like one video? Right? Didn't we only get the one video? Have I been out of the loop? Showing like the zoom in all the way into like the lunar surface. So yeah, I mean, high hopes, but you know, don't know, don't know more. Hey, there we go, chat. Nice. All right, let's see if it'll make it into orbit now. What is my derivative term? Well, I mean, I have multiple, right? But I use this rule of thumb. Very, very small in relation to the others. I could probably increase it, but this is the equation based on the Nichols method, if I recall correctly. I think that's where I got this from. It's been a while since I've looked at this. All right, looking good. Looking most excellent indeed. A bit too low. Yeah, like I said, the believe it or not, the gains that we're using are not the gains for that rocket, supposedly. Did I actually adjust them? I may have adjusted them actually. But yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, you're probably right. If you're talking about for the landing burn and stuff, is that the right mode? No, that is not the right mode. Right mode is up here. Distance and velocity control. So it's these two here. So yeah. This is KP, KI, KD. It seems like this guy needs to be tuned a bit as well, huh? Is it because this is so high? Oh no, that is tailored down. There we go, now it's locked in. Yeah, not bad. So yeah, basically 117 by 46. If I change the trajectory to make it a little bit lower, it should be able to get 10 tons into orbit just fine at that reusable rate. I'm pretty happy about that, actually. Yeah, I think that's good. So 10 tons. It can make roughly 10 tons to a low Kerbin orbit, like say 80 kilometers or so. That should be doable. Or very near it. 10 tons for reusability. The maximum lift capacity of this thing is only meant to be like 15 metric tons, so getting 2/3 of your mass up into orbit for that, that's and reusability, I'm pretty happy with that actually. Cool. Yeah, if you want to see Otan, if you want to see what the landing code that you just saw was originally designed for, it's a much smaller rocket. So yeah, the gains are definitely not optimized for it. Actually, let's go back out to editor. It's meant for this guy. It's meant for the DCX. Yep, that's right, Otan. Yeah, it's what helps reduce oscillations, indeed. Isn't the Falcon reusable payload to LEO like half as expendable payload to LEO? Something like that. Maybe not quite half. I want to say it's like 2/3 actually. Isn't its maximum capacity and expendable like 22 tons or something like that? to LEO, but for reusable, it's around 15. I was thinking like it's roughly 15, maybe 16, and in expendable mode it's 22 or 24, something like that. Let's get Thomas. Boop. Are you trying to make a starship? I will in the future, yeah. We're not there yet, though. Essentially, we're starting with Falcon 9, RTLS style of recovery, and then I want to get into basically Falcon 9 barge landing recovery. Then we'll start working on Starship. Gotta get the code right, you know, first. We gotta find that accuracy if we want to have a open the world of getting any sort of power catch attempt. There we go. So yeah, the original code, we basically used this, the DCX vehicle, as our test demonstrator. It's basically our system that's used to test the code that we've been working on for the longest time. Very good. Tease it. There we go. Oh yeah, Machine Alchemy. Yeah. If you're just tuning in, yeah, we've been launching and landing rockets autonomously with Python tonight, testing the code and stuff. When that guy is landing, please go to the pad camera view. I'm super curious to see what this looks like from that view. Yeah, it looks like this. So we actually probably could move it closer, in all honesty. But this is what it looks like. It's not bad. Like, you can certainly see it coming in from a long angle, a long way off, which is really nice. But with this small rocket, it's hard to see with the wide angle. So we could actually maybe move it up here as well. Something for the future. What libraries? I built the entire code myself, and I'm using the mod called KRPC, which allows you to download the KRPC Python package and use it to communicate with the game. I feel like the tower catch is sort of the pinnacle of reusability, right? Not sure that can be improved beyond that. No, I think it could be improved, technically speaking. Instead of catching it in a tower, just land it right in the cradle. Do a cradle landing like what was originally thought of for Starship and BFR. You put it on GitHub? Yep, GitHub link is below the video and the socials. Anyways, so like I said, this is our demonstrator vehicle here. Did I just miss it or something? Oh, controlling the wrong vehicle. That might make sense. And so from this one, we actually have two different codes that we run with it. So the first one we did was this one. No, I'm sorry. The first one we did was this one. This code tested our guidance and navigation to track the pad. So this thing goes up to above 70 kilometers altitude. This does a belly flop like Starship to track the pad coming in for a landing, and then it will verticate like Starship and then land vertically. This one is definitely a tricky one, just because of the aerodynamic forces that it has playing on it, but pretty good. Have I played SFS before? SFS. What? Space Flight Simulator? No, I have not. I have not played Space Flight Simulator. The truck suspension could use a PID too. You're not wrong, Otan. Yeah, those landing. So the truck that we have that we were using to maneuver this into position was taken from a previous save because I love the truck, but we're in career mode, and so we don't have the biggest rover wheels unlocked that it would use. Well, not the big ones, right? But like the slightly larger, the next one up in the generation. We don't have those unlocked yet because for whatever reason those rover wheels are in the highest tier on its tech tree. I don't know why, how that makes sense. So yeah, we had to go with the small ones, which are like just not quite it, you know, for the truck for carrying any sort of load. But hey, whatever. All right, so this should start coasting here pretty soon to get up to apoapsis. Should be targeting somewhere on the order of 70 kilometers. And we have shutdown. There we go. And so now it coasts. It coasts all the way up to 70 kilometers, which we can go ahead and time warp a little bit. Almost there. Almost there. Tracking 73.5. And there it goes. And pitch over. And so now it's going to get into its belly flop configuration. And you can see it's already lining itself to track the pad. And so then in the outputs here, we can see that we are currently 5.5 kilometers downrange linear distance from the pad. We are traveling backwards, hence the negative, at 25 meters per second. And because we're traveling backwards and we're so far away, we are commanding 32 degrees pitch down to try and increase our lift and velocity to move forward towards the pad. So that's what all these different outputs and numbers mean. Hey, look, it's Jewel in the camera chat. There it is. Hey, nice. Rolls oscillating, yeah. It's because I had the RCS on, and the RCS on this craft are a little bit overpowered because I needed enough to help offset the aerodynamics that control this thing because it generates lift. So yeah, the roll control's a little bit overpowered for what it needs to be. Yeah, there's a lot of optimization that can happen, but the general controllability is pretty key. All right, we are now 8 kilometers downrange, traveling backwards at 41 meters per second, and opening. We are now traveling towards the pad at 25 meters per second and opening. There we go. Aerodynamics are really starting to help us out now, pitching up to compensate. The missile knows where it is because it knows where it isn't. 100%, yeah, it's definitely true. There we go. Now it's going to roll to get into its normal flight mode. Do you have a final descent phase where you guide yourself to the pad and correct while you fall? Yes. Yep, I sure do. So that is down here in mode 2, descent and landing burn. We're steering towards the pad and we're calculating our time to start our hover slam. All right, getting closer. We're now 1.5 kilometers away at 120 meters per second, pitching up to try and stop. Basically, it's trying not to overshoot, so it's pitching up. It'll probably end up overshooting a little bit, but that's okay. There it goes. Aiming towards the pad. Looking good. And landing configuration. Hey, there it is, chat. Coming in a little bit off. That's okay, though. We're gonna be on the hill, aren't we, chat? Oh, no, we're not. Close. Ooh, look at that. Just off the hill, off the slope. Yeah, so that's when that one does. So 146 meters away from that one. I think that's mainly due to having reduced controllability when it gets into that vertical mode. Because it always tries to track the pad. We can definitely tune the PIDs to probably be more proactive in the velocity controller, so that way it tries to pitch down to really track the pad more. So that way it's not trying to like just belly flop straight down when it's like way over here. But for the most part, the controllability is good. Goes up to 70 kilometers, comes back and lands on the pad. Do you have any margins for error giving it time to perform maneuvers? How does it get offset that it's so weird you were directly above it? Yeah, it's the lift. This thing generates so much lift because it's nothing but fairing. And fairings create a lot of body lift. You should start getting more vertical as you go lower. Well, it's got to track the pad though, right? And because we come in so fast, like I said, there's ways to optimize it, but this is just what we have right now. This PID isn't well adjusted. Yeah, indeed. Man, you guys are strong critics. But then the other thing we can do that we were using this code or using this vehicle to test was to track the other pad for landing as well. So that was this flight. Incorporate a linear offset outside of the PID. Well, if we really wanted to get involved with it, we would actually probably use something more robust like proportional navigation or something like that, and command a target to basically be over the pad but like up here, so that way we basically aim for that point. And because we would be aiming for that point above the pad, we would then basically be coming straight down on top of the pad at that point. So that's probably the way I would solve any sort of inaccuracies. Because essentially what it's trying to do, right, is it's just trying to track the pad all the way until it gets to be, I think it's like 1.5 kilometers altitude. At that point it goes vertical and then uses its body lift to try and maneuver towards the pad at that point. Maybe that's too low and it doesn't have enough time to then compensate. Yeah, there's different things. You're very focused on the issues with it. Hey, I understand. Yeah, I can't have it get vertical too fast because the thing does not create a lot of drag like our other vehicle does, our launch vehicle does. So this thing would actually not be able to compensate for that coming in too fast. It doesn't have a lot of fuel when it comes back from 70 kilometers, you know? It's stalling? Well, I mean, it doesn't have any wings, so it's always stalling, Kappa. There we go, tracking the pad, shutting engines off. And tracking the pad again. I need to figure out what it's doing there, because it seems to be going back and forth between two different control modes, where it's like leaning towards the pad versus away from the pad. Because while it's falling, it should always be leaning away from the pad to use the aerodynamics to its advantage. Until the engines turn on, and then it should start switching over and aiming towards the pad to use the engines to maneuver itself. But and then it always wants to overshoot. So something's happening there where it's not triggering It's not triggering the control mode switch fast enough or something. But it's trying to aim, or it's trying to land right there. But, you know, not too far off. Maybe adding flaps that would be folded by default but come out during the vertical phase would help add lateral controllability. Yeah, kind of like the wedge fins from New Shepard. That could definitely be a possibility. But yeah, that's what the original control systems were designed for. Was testing for this, and then we scaled it up to the orbital launch vehicle. But yeah, like I said, we have a starting point. Well, we have more than a starting point, and now it's just all about improving it and making it more robust and more accurate, and then step by step by step by step, getting to the point where maybe we can land and do a catch tower attempt, right? So yeah. 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 Is your astronomy building under construction? The Space Center? Is your PID calculating angle off position? Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier, is we could improve that to be velocity based and track the velocity error instead of position. The jets only have 2 states. The RCS, I think so. Are you guys aerospace engineers? I do work in the industry, yeah. And if you're talking about this, the Space Center, then yeah, I only have the second version of the Space Center. So I could upgrade it for 5 million, but I'm saving up to unlock the last research center, which is almost 17 million. So we're saving up for the next research center. Iterative development, exactly. So we're Block 1, Falcon 9 stage, right? Yeah, that's exactly right. I'm with a very small startup company developing satellite control systems and communication systems in Colorado. It's called Modularity. Oh, that's the camera. Okay, well that seems pretty good. Seems pretty good, chat. Pretty happy with that. So where to go? Where to go, chat? So there's a lot of, oh gosh, I need to actually write down all of the different things that we can do, right? Because there's obviously the big one, which is boost back burn automation. There's all sorts of different like navigation techniques we could look into, like proportional navigation instead of just the simple positional PID gains. We could change the PID implementation to be more velocity based to help smooth out that control system. We could optimize the gains. Gosh, there's a ton of things we can do. First one might be, let's get the boost back burn automated, so that way we can have the full trajectory boost back burn and landing implemented, and then we can start iterating on that as a full system, as like a full control, like a full single autonomous control architecture. Maybe then it would be come into implementing that like stability augmentation system that I was talking about earlier. There's a lot that we can do. Yeah, velocity is a derivative position. Yep. We are the armchair engineers. Yeah. Did you learn control theory for your job? Yeah. Yep, for sure. How many jets do you have installed? So I have 4 in the nose. No, I'm sorry. 2, 4, 6, 8. I have 8 in the nose. And then I have 8 at the back. So 16 total, if you're talking about that last vehicle. Yeah, control theory. Yeah, modern control theory, nonlinear control theory, optimal control theory. But yeah, there's a lot rattling around up here. But anyways, chat, that's probably going to have to do it for me tonight. I want to take some time off stream, probably tomorrow, to really chart out a course of action on where to go from here with the code development, and then we'll be back normal time Wednesday for our next stream, and I'll see if we can't take what I come up with tomorrow and try to implement it on stream on Wednesday or something along those lines. It's kind of the thought process right now. So that way we can come into the stream with a concept in mind. Implement and test. Yeah, implement and test. What's the normal time? 7 p.m. Mountain Time. So what is that? That is 9 p.m. Eastern Time, yeah. But anyways, chat, goal 1, land within 0.1 meters from target. Goal 2, catch tower. Yeah, easy mode, Terrace. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'll just jump right to 0.1 meter accuracy. Why not, right? It's getting late for you now. Hey, there you go. But anyways, chat, that's gonna do it for me. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Thank you to everyone for hanging out, for all of the new follows, all of the new YouTube subscribers, for EJ with the raid on the Twitch side, for all of the resubs, gifted subs. Much love to you all. Have a good night. We'll be back Wednesday, 7 p.m. Mountain Time is the targeted next stream. I'm usually a little bit late, but anyways, hope to see you guys Wednesday. Until then, chat.